Capri blue inside of the Genesis GV70, hands down, is my favorite color choice. I love the way that the color pops. And when you pair it with the ultramarine blue interior, it is just a thing of absolute beauty. This is the Sport Plus in Canada, which is the Sport Prestige trim level equivalent down in the States. And this is the ride you want to go for if you're looking for absolutely everything inside of the GV70. Pricing inside the GV70 in Canada is going to start at $61,000, down in the States at $47,000. And the price that it goes up to is going to depend on how you have the rest of the vehicle configured. Are you in the 2.5 turbo, the 3.5, which trim level are you in, even which paint choice have you added on? Because there are some of the matte paint colors that add on about $1,500 to the overall build. But those matte paints also look really good, but they're not competing with this blue. You're going to find the GV70 available all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive, in my opinion, especially if you live in northern states or in Canada, absolutely the way to go because you're going to get better traction year-round. This will handle like a beast in the wintertime. That all-wheel drive system that Genesis has is incredible. There are a series of different wheel styles that are available inside of this ride, and the sizes are going to start at 19, and you've got optional 21-inch wheels. So this is the Sport Plus or Sport Prestige trim, which is why you've got this really aggressive look. On top of the 21-inch wheels you're going to find in the Sport Plus, it's also going to give you an electronic limited slip differential, which is going to help you out with overall traction. But regardless of the trim, you do have launch control inside the vehicle, which is a hell of a lot of fun. There aren't a ton of changes from the 2024 to the 2025 GV70. The big one actually comes inside of the infotainment system. It's really just a minor change, but a pretty useful one at the same time, but I'll touch on that on the inside. The front end style of the GV70 looks amazing. The headlamps lit up at night look solid. You are looking at LED headlamps inside of the ride. And one thing I wasn't crazy about when I first saw it, the hood when it closes, there's a little bit of a separation there. Wasn't crazy about the style at first, but I've really come to appreciate more of that winged look that you get inside of it. And it just wraps around this grille. I love the overall design choice here. There's a lot of technology that you're going to find inside of the GV70. You've got things like the forward park sensing system. There's the front-facing camera as well. There's the option for the full surround view monitor, so the full 360 camera. On top of that, you're also going to find a remote smart parking system where not only can you use the key fob to bring the vehicle forwards and backwards in and out of spaces, it's got full park assist, so it can help out with parallel and perpendicular parking, which, I get it, you can park yourself, but at the same time, if you have mobility issues, it is a very, very useful system. Underneath the hood of the GV70, you technically have 3 different powertrains that are available. So as I mentioned, you've got it available as an electric. If you want to walk through on the electric version, you'll find it down in the description of this video. But in the gas engine, you've got 2 different choices available. So it's either going to be a 2.5 liter inline 4 turbocharged engine, or there's this, the 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6, which power-wise equates to 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque. It's absolutely ridiculous, but so amazing at the same time. So we're going to do a little 0 to 60 test. People were saying about 4.1 seconds in order to get from 0 to 100. So I want to see, got to put myself into the Sport Plus mode, and then I want to do launch control. So I'm just going to push and hold the traction control button for a few seconds. Toggles it off, traction stability control, and we're good to go in 3, 2, and 100. Very nice. Very nice. Genesis. It's not as good as the GV70 electric, but that was pretty damn good at the same time. Saw my fuel economy shoot up like crazy when I did that too, but you have to. You got to have a little bit of fun inside of these cars. But that was really impressive. There is the 2.5 liter engine, and you can't snub your nose at that one by any stretch, because that's 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. So the 2.5 liter will probably be good enough for most people, but if you want the best possible performance, the 3.5 liter V6 is absolutely the way to go. There are some strut braces there that V6 cover, and then Genesis is letting you know that this is a twin turbo with some twin turbo badges along the very top of the cover. If you were to ask me, I would go for the 3.5 liter V6 because of the extra power. The electric also has my eye a little bit, but gearheads, the performance is incredible inside of this ride. Warranty-wise, inside of the Genesis world is pretty solid. The basic and powertrain in Canada is a 5-year, 100,000 kilometers. In the States, the basic is going to be a 5-year, 60,000 mile, and the powertrain for the original owner is a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty instead. Love to see that warranty up in Canada. But if you're a subsequent owner, you do get 5 years or 60,000 miles worth of coverage. And you always have the option of increasing the warranty at time of purchase if you really want to protect your ride, but just make sure regular scheduled oil changes, regular maintenance to make sure this car treats you the best. The rear end styling of the GV70 looks great. Rounded all the way throughout the back. And then when you look at the tips, so faux tips on the very top, but you are technically dual tip exhaust inside of this ride. And lit up at night, the tail lamps look good. Turn signals, very, very subtle. You're going to get a lot of technology in the back end here. So the rear sensing system's always there, along with the backup camera and the rear wiper. You can also tow inside of the GV70. As long as you're pulling a trailer with brakes, you're maxing out at 3,500 pounds. So you're covered for most small trailers, and bike rack carriers more than covered there. But getting into the trunk of this vehicle can be done a few different ways. Right in the wiper, there's a button that you can push there if you wanted to open up the liftgate. You can use the key fob. There's a button to the left-hand side of the steering wheel. The GV70 also has the smart trunk feature. So as long as you've got the key fob on you and the vehicle's locked, you get about 10 to 15 feet away for about 5 to 10 seconds or so. And say you've got your golf clubs or just don't feel like opening up the trunk yourself, just walk up to the back end. And as long as the feature is enabled, smart trunk, very, very useful. If it's going off and you don't want it going off, you can hit the lock button in order to stop it if you really wanted to. But inside of the trunk, there are quite a few things. There's the option for a cargo shade back here. So if you want to protect those valuables, you absolutely can. Cargo net off to the right side, along with a 12-volt power point. Off to the left-hand side, there's a little light tucked away. Before I get to folding down the second row seats, you could lift up the mat in the back here. And when you do, the cargo net's back here, but just underneath that, there's also the jack stand. And under that is the mini spare tire. So it is just a mini spare. It's not a full-size spare. But one of the nice things is that you could change it yourself if you want to. But one of the great things about being a Genesis owner is that you also have access to roadside assistance. And that's good for things like fuel delivery, lockout services, tire changing, and a few other things, including potentially trip interruption on top of that, which is very useful. And that's good for 5 years, unlimited mileage. But you could change it yourself if you really wanted to, because all of the necessary tools are there. But it definitely beats an inflator kit. Folding down the second row seats can be done from the back. You're just going to pull the lever along the side and along the driver's side in order to fold those seats down. And when you do, there is so much cargo space that you're going to get inside of this ride. And the measurements that you're looking at, specifically for behind the first row, are going from right where the liftgate would close to just in behind the armrest between the first row seats. So if that driver's seat, passenger seat forwards, backwards a little bit, you'd gain or lose a little bit of extra space. If you needed to fold down the second row seat and you didn't need to get into the cargo area, all you're going to do, in the back, there's a tab there you're going to pull in order to drop that seat down. Once the seat is down, it's actually locked down into place. So in order to be able to raise the seat up, the same lever that you would use in order to fold the seat down, you're just going to pull that in order to raise it up. Filling up fuel inside of the GV70 is done just along the driver's side. One nice thing is that when the vehicle's locked, the gas cover is also locked. So just have to make sure that you unlock in order to get inside. It is a capped system as well. When it comes down to fuel quality, along the fuel door, it does say premium fuel is recommended. Inside of the owner's manual, it says premium fuel is recommended, but not required. The GV70 is not E85 capable, so you can't use that at all. But there's nothing saying you can't use an 87 octane. So minimum manufacturer's recommendation, so they do recommend using a 91 octane, but you at least have to use an 87. So regular gas is okay. But here's the thing. If you're in the 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, 87, you're okay. Inside of the 3.5 liter turbo, you are absolutely going to want to show her some love. So I would say at a very minimum, you're using a 91, ideally a 94 octane. But if you want to get the best possible performance inside of the Genesis lineup, do yourself a favor and use a 91. You will absolutely notice a difference in performance when you do. The GV70 is a nice size crossover. It's got a fairly small profile, which is fantastic. Seating for 5, which I'll show you in just a second. But love that auto lock feature. Also annoying when you try to show things off in video, but getting into either the first or the second row, it's not tricky by any stretch. It's easy enough. And one nice thing is that you do have the assist handles on the driver-passenger side. The side view mirrors inside of the GV70 do feature turn signals. You saw there, they're power folding. And then there's also the side-mounted camera in some trims as part of that full surround view monitor system. You can push the button there in order to lock, or slide in to unlock. Look at this. And one cool thing, so these are auto dimming. So if somebody's in behind you, it'll dim automatically for you. It's got the blind spot view monitor. And then as well, as you go to reverse, they'll tilt side to side and then up and down to make it easier to see as you go to reverse. But look at this. Ultramarine blue is stunning. This is the Sport Plus version of the vehicle in Canada, or Sport Prestige down in the States. But yeah, that's Ultramarine blue. Looks so good. Look at this true carbon fiber highlight. And that follows through a few different parts inside the ride. But the handle there is good. I love that aluminum highlight throughout the door there. That's going on with the seat memory and even the buttons for side view mirror control, unlock, lock, and your window control. This button, if it's turned on, it's going to actually lock the rear windows and the rear doors. So you won't be able to open up the doors if that is on. Learned that the hard way. You've also got a little bit of bottle storage. Lexicon audio system, so you can see speakers absolutely everywhere, but I'll point that one out in a second. Got the Genesis scuff plate there, along with, I love this seat. Oh, quilted Napa leather, super comfortable, but very flexible with what you can adjust. Like you can adjust the leg cushion if you want to. Move the seat up, down, forwards, backwards, adjust the backrest, multi-way lumbar support, and massage chair seats. It's beautiful. Now, one thing you could probably see that little blue highlight? Part of the ambient light, so you can customize that through the infotainment system. Steering wheel is power telescoping. Inside the vehicle, oh, but that's nice. Oh, so nice. All right, let's do a little startup here. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, before we get there, so the seat here is incredibly comfortable, and the space, there we go, inside the ride is solid. So with me being 6 feet tall, so in the first row, sitting fully upright, and the seat down, 3.5, 4-ish inches of headspace. So if you're 6'4", 6'5", actually, seat memory, reset to default. Now, so 6'4", 6'5", you'll comfortably be able to sit inside of this ride. But yeah, like I said, the Ultramarine blue is absolutely beautiful. I love it because there are a few different types of seating colors and even materials that you're going to see inside the vehicle. But the blue is so subtle, and with the red stitching that follows throughout, the red seatbelts, yeah, like I said, nice overall. The steering wheel is premium. I love that little Genesis logo there. that little carbon fiber insert, so that matches what's going on in the driver door, passenger door, and then along the side there too. Solid, but yeah, it's just very Genesis-esque with all of the buttons and things like that. So custom buttons along the steering wheel, smart cruise control, and the lane follow assist. But if you want to walk through, like you want to know how to use the different steering wheel buttons, go through the cluster screen or the infotainment system, you'll find walkthroughs down in the description of this video. But it's solid. It's got paddle shifters, so you can drop down gears as necessary to get some speed or rely on engine braking. But if you want to walk through on how paddle shifters work, similar to all the tech videos, you'll find that down below. And one thing that is incredibly hard to get on video is the cluster screen. And the reason why it's hard to get on video is because one of the features here, I'm going through, one cool thing, look at this. You can go through the whole screen by going up and down this way, but it's got a 3D effect. So it's one thing, like I said, you can't really capture it on camera. But yeah, because it just looks like it's changing up the brightness of the screen, but it's creating physical depth. So you've got 3D depth that's available inside of the cluster. It is so cool in person, like especially as you get into different modes, like you get into that sport mode, Sport Plus, it looks so damn cool. Oh, and then the best part, well, one nice part, I should say, not the best part. There's so many cool things about this, but blind spot view monitor. Incredibly useful. So that shows you what's going on inside of your blind spot on both sides. Oh, so neat. There's also a head-up display. Oh yeah, there you can see that. Look at that. Love it. So if you have the route going, so if you had maps going there, it would also show up there. So you get your turn-by-turn directions. If you're on the highway, you've got the lane follow assist and the smart cruise features going. That'll show up. If somebody enters your blind spot, it's going to show up there as well. It is a really cool feature. Yeah, the infotainment system is loaded. Factory navigation is going to be inside of this vehicle. You've got all sorts of options. Media playback is available as well. So you've got USB music and USB video that's available inside of this ride. So if you have a USB stick that has...
looking for a crossover, the Edge end on this, if you're looking for a crossover,
so cool. So you've got full video playback available inside of this screen. Not every video format's playable, but still the ones that are very useful. Yeah, I've got a bunch of different files inside of this thing, and you can see there, not many are playable. We'll go with playable. But like I said, so many options available. One change that came to the infotainment system inside of the 2025 GV70 is wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, if you're down in the States. Up in Canada, we still only have the option for a USB connection for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So you just have to make sure you use the data port down there. Then you're just connecting yourself over USB that way. And like I said, both for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. If you're in the States with wireless, you do also have the option of backwards compatibility. So you can go over USB if you want to, but there is the wireless charge pad. I just wish that they brought that to Canada as well. This one has the available Lexicon audio system instead, which is just night and day difference in over and above the base 9 speaker system. All right, hold on, here we go. The audio quality inside of this vehicle is amazing. So the audio that you were listening to is coming right out of the microphone. So I don't do any sort of post-processing at all. So let's listen to a different style song.
Make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. And when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon.
It's such a great audio system. Like it's just pumping. Like the cabin here is not that big, but there's active noise cancellation. So it's fairly quiet on the highway. And then just even more quiet when you've got audio playing. It's so nice. Love it. But yeah, I could go on so long for this infotainment system because there are so many things that you can do. I mentioned that there are massage chair seats that are available, and you can customize the seat even more. But when you've got the massage chair seats going, there are 3 different options that are available for the seat. You can have it so that it automatically will push the steering wheel in, back the driver's seat up, so there's smart, easy entry exit and things like that. Such a useful one. Now, the dash here is good. I love, like I said, that red stitching that follows through. Solid. Your push button start, and then there's also this little button, and that's actually a fingerprint reader. So if you set up your fingerprint through your infotainment system, you can actually lock your profile to your fingerprint. So you'd hop in, push, and then it would just launch all of your settings. It'd log into your profile, things like that. Really cool. push button start, and then you can see the ambient light. Can you? Yeah, you can maybe see it. The ambient light following all the way through. But lit up at night, the interior here looks beautiful. You've got these big buttons, so for your basic climate control settings there on each side. And then your dials there, different driver passenger side if you want to. And then this part of the screen actually has haptic feedback. So as you go to press one way or the other, you actually get a little bit of feedback on your finger when you're doing it. Heated steering wheel, things like that. There are hot button presses there to get to either the map, to navigation options. There's a custom button. You can get to your radio if you want to. So AM, FM, Sirius XM, hop into your various forms of media, go into your basic setup. You can kill off the beeping that you get as you get closer to obstacles when you back up. You can switch between different terrain versus drive modes, which you saw, but it also shows you what's going on inside of the cluster screen and the infotainment system as you do it. Now, one cool thing, so let's go to drive for a second here, and we push. You've got your full 360 camera, but I love, hold on, back up again. Love this. So you've got your front view, front top view, your side view as well. When you're in reverse, same idea. You'll have your side view, your side reverse view, and then your top-down view, but then the swing-out view. I love the way that Genesis has done this. And then one even cooler thing is that we're in drive, push and hold that button instead. Look at this, searching for parking. So it's got a full park assist system. It can help out with parallel and perpendicular parking, parallel park out as well. It is a really, really cool system. But if you want to walk through on how that actually works, you'll find it down below. So volume rocker and a tuning rocker here with some basic buttons. And you saw there, full control of the infotainment system using this dial instead. So you can go around the whole screen if you want to, using all of these. There's a basic auto hold setting, park, reverse, neutral drive. So you've got this little rotary shifter. One cool thing about the shifter here is that when you're, let's say if you're out of park, so if you're in reverse neutral drive, turn the car off, automatically parks you. But even then, at nighttime, as you shift between all the different modes, so it's the same blue, well, whatever your ambient light choice is there, but it'll flip into red when you go into reverse at night. It looks really good. You've got USB power points down there, so 2 USB Type A devices. There's a wireless charge pad there as well. Nice little cover with some cup holders. Got a 12-volt power point on the inside, little storage tray as well. There's also a lockable glove box there. The rearview mirror is auto dimming, and it also does have your home link system at home. So if garage door opener, you're good there. There's a sunglasses holder. Again, the design here. Love that aluminum wrap, nice glossy highlight, your basics for your side view or for all of your light controls there. And then there's also the option of doing a nice light press instead. Toggle these on. SOS and tow motor there, and then you've got a multi-function button. So you could do a big press and hold to open everything, or if you just do a light one, you can just open up the shade. Look at that. You can push up to vent and away to open it up. So it's a full panoramic roof, but it's not gonna, will it open up? Yeah, so it's not gonna open up past that point, but still, that looks solid. And then even when you look at the profile from the outside, it looks great. Now from here, you could just slide, like a nice light slide if you want to, in order to start closing. Or if you do a hard push, closes everything in tandem. Super useful. Yeah, I like the headliner. I'm not crazy about the headliner though. So this suede headliner, a little bit tricky to keep clean, but I mean, it looks nice at the same time. And the visor, same material there with a little ticket receipt holder. And then there's a little light up overhead with this extending out to block all of the sun. That might be hitting your face, but damn, does that look good. You look there, your blind spot, not bad at all. Yeah, like the red seatbelts, the true carbon fiber there. There are different inserts that are available, but you've always got the option of doing aftermarket carbon fiber, like a 3M wrap, or you could do other options there as well. But second row time, one thing you're going to see here, Door shade, not standard across the board, but it is nice. And then the same highlights. So that same metallic highlight along the door, that same carbon fiber insert there as well. You've got a speaker, the seats inside the vehicle, second row. Oh, that's good. Okay, so driver's seat set up for myself being 6 feet tall. Got a great amount of knee space, foot space, and head space inside the ride. It could be better. So you can take this lever. You'd use that in order to fold the seat flat, but you can also extend it back for a solid recline. Oh, the seat's nice. That's good. Solid. Now, there's a little hump in the middle there. So could you fit 3 full-size adults in the back here? Yes, but I mean, look at this. Ooh, tight for sure, but doable for a shorter trip. Actually, this seat, the cushion is actually, ooh, damn. The cushion is surprisingly nice inside of this middle seat. Usually this is a forgotten seat that's terrible, but that's actually pretty solid. You've got some cup holders built right into the seat there. And the anchor points are there. The top tethers are in the back if you've got child seats as necessary. You've got mesh pockets behind both the passenger and the driver's side as well. And then, one interesting thing, you can adjust the passenger seat there too. So if the passenger in the first row, if they're backwards a little bit too much, you can force them to go forwards if you really wanted to. There's some climate controls there. So you've got basic vent controls. You can also adjust the fan speed there, adjust the temperature for the back, turn on your heated outboard seats. So that's just going to be for the passenger and for the driver's side. So this middle seat is never going to be heated. You've got basic for your climate control there as well. And then down low, a few more power points. So 2 more USB Type A, and then a regular wall plug back there. Useful. Up overhead, so you see there, it's also that sunshade, but you've got your handle, hook, and light on the passenger side. It's the same thing on the driver. So the handle, hook, and then the light as well. I just find this to be so useful. Things get too bright, you're good to go there. But, oh no, have I locked my... All right, so if that ever happens where you can't get out, oh, if you look on the driver's side there, see that little light? That little guy. I want to make sure that that's off. There we go. Hilarious. I was even like, oh no, I won't lock myself into the second row again. Locks myself in immediately. But the Capri blue exterior with the ultramarine blue interior, like the blue is so subtle, but damn does it look nice. And like the red highlights here. If you're a fan of Spider-Man at all, the Ben Reilly 2099 Spider-Man, that's what this car reminds me of, like for sure. The nice blue exterior, the subtle blue, like that deep blue interior with the red stitching. It looks nice. But this is the 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6. Let's take this bad boy out for a spin and have some fun. The GV70 is such a luxurious car. Oh, this feels nice. Hold on. On-ramp handling. Let's see. Love it. The handling inside of this car is so good. One thing that I noticed inside of this ride for the distance that I've driven so far is how quiet this car is. Like, extremely quiet. I don't obviously have any audio going right now, but if you did, it would drown out any of the extra road noise. Like, you hear a little bit, but still, the active noise cancellation inside of the GV70 is great. I will give it this. The seat's nice. I love all of the technology, so fully hands-free going around a bend right now. Though it's not fully self-driving, and that's one thing that I'd really love to see Genesis do, is get into the full self-driving side of things. It's got the smart cruise control, which is adaptive cruise, so it can slow down automatically if there are cars in front of you going slower. And then it's got a full lane centering and a lane follow assist, which is what's taking me around the bends right now. Damn! The limited amount of body roll that you get inside of this is amazing. Hold on, let's see the turning radius. So going to do a 180 here. Nice. A little bit more than 1 lane width apart. And yeah, if you need to get out of the way of something quickly, this car's got you covered. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's really nice. Walk up to the back end. Are you serious? This usually works. The cargo measurements that you're looking at specifically